iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
This is I Can Get It For You, Wholesale. It was a musical originally done in the 1960s, and we are sort of reviving it to, play to the same story, but also make it more accessible for today's audiences. And it's about the garment district in the 1930s and a man named Harry Bogan and his sort of path to success or not success, and sort of all the people that he meets along the way to get to where he is.
I play Harry Bogan, who is a shipping clerk when the play starts, and he's trying to make sure he and his mom get to stay in their apartment, basically. Times are tough. It's 1937. There's not a lot of money flowing in and out, and so he has to find a way to survive. That's where we start.
I am playing Miss Marmalstein, who was originated by Barbra Streisand in the original production in the 60s. And she starts out as a secretary to Maurice Pulvermacher, who is one of the most famous garment owners on 7th Avenue. And Harry Bogan sort of sees something in her and sweeps her up and makes her the secretary for his new garment business called Apex Modes, Inc. And she's very loyal and very fierce. And it's been an honor to play her.
I have been involved with this version of this show, I think almost since the very beginning. I know that Santino has been attached the longest, but I think I might have been, if not at the first reading, maybe the second one. So I've been doing readings of this show for several years, but I always played Miss Marmalstein in previous iterations of it. So this was kind of a wonderful surprise when it was time to actually do a production of it, and I was offered Ruthie Rivkin, and I was like, is this, what happened? But I'm so thrilled. At first I was like a little bit disappointed because like I was excited to play like the comedic, like the center of the comedic stuff in the show, although so many of the roles, it turns out, are so funny, which is something that I love so much about this piece. But I have fallen so deeply in love with the character that I play now, so it all worked out, and we get Julia. So
I've been doing readings or workshops of I Can Get It For You Wholesale for years at this point, and the cast, the writer, the score, and Tripp and Jill Rafson, the artistic director here at the producing artistic director here at Classic Stage Company. That's why I'm doing it.
You know, it's funny because even though it's a revival, it feels like it's a new show. It's a revival. It's a show that a lot of people don't know. I certainly didn't know. It's been so reconceived and, with a newly reconceived book and songs that were cut, put back in, so it feels in many ways like a new show. And it's been thrilling to work on, truly thrilling.
I got involved in the show, I think, in 2018. I did a reading of an earlier draft of it. And I know Tripp Cullman very well, who's our intrepid director, and I've stayed with it since then. I think we've done like a reading a year since then. It's an interesting process. I've never been a part of something like this that's a revival that's being revised, I think is how we're referring to it. It's really exciting to encounter this sort of golden age classic score that's been forgotten. I think we all feel a sort of responsibility to take this incredible score and introduce it to modern day audiences, and just figuring out the best way to tell that story. So, it feels like all of these sort of really nuanced tweaks we've been making over the years, just sharpening this story about how anti-Semitism, capitalism, these forces that are at play that can really poison a person, and how we all struggle against those systems.
The process of putting this piece together has been so special. I have worked with Tripp Cullman, our director, many times, and he is one of my favorites and has been since the first time we worked together, and I will truly do anything with him if I can. He is just so responsible always for creating a really collaborative, really loving, really generous room to work in, and it trickles down. And I think we're so lucky in this piece because John Weidman is also a really generous person, and he's strikes a great balance because he's very specific about what he writes, and he's not loose about it at all, but he is very open to having discussion and questions about what's on the page. And I think his rewrites have just been so smart, and they continue to be. We have little tweaks here and there that are just making massive differences. And then, yeah, you asked about the cast as well, and it's just a dream. It is a dream. I have said several times that this is so strange, but we're all cramped in this teeny tiny dressing room, all the genders with like one little curtain, separating us. And it's like it should be a nightmare, but it is a dream because it's just such great people. And it really feels like a family, and I think it really lends itself to what we're doing on stage feeling really collaborative too, and not feeling like it's, putting the I that doesn't belong in team, to put it really pathetically. But it really does feel like a team effort.
Well, we have one of the writers. There's a composer who's no longer with us, and the original writer, which is John's father, Jerome Weidman. John's done a great job of, what's the word? I think getting to the intention of what his father wanted to write in 1962. And no, it's great to have the people in the room who are going to create the thing right there, which John is representing for all of us, is invaluable and been really, really, really helpful.
This cast is off the charts amazing, both on stage and off stage. And there's nothing better to me than just being in, part of a group of great artists, great actors, great creative team. And it's just felt so collaborative. And, the actors are all crammed into one teeny tiny dressing room. So you really want to love your castmates, and we really do. So.
Oh my goodness, this cast is so top-notch and filled with so many people who I've looked up to my entire life as a theater kid. So sharing the stage with them has been such an honor, and I'm learning so much from everybody. And I can't think of more perfect people to fill this cast and revive this show. So it's been a huge honor.
This cast is a dream. It's truly some of my favorite actors to watch, and also some of my favorite human beings to be with. I have never done a show where I've either worked with people before, or some people are my friends, or both, and just having the experience of feeling instantly so much intimacy with the company, and respect, and it's just a joy. It's just a joy to watch people be so good in the show. It's a joy to share the stage with them. I feel so lucky, and we do a lot of giggling backstage. It's one of my favorite companies I've ever been a part of.
Well, this is my third show at CSC, and I absolutely love this space. The audience really is part of the show. It's a little daunting when you look out and accidentally see someone but I just love the space so much. It feels like a great space to tell stories in.
I think Classic Stage is such a wonderful company who brings together audiences to see shows that people wouldn't normally be introduced to. And so really the most exciting thing about this show is that virtually nobody has heard of it before, which I think is so exciting because we get to introduce them to a whole new world of music and storytelling. And yeah, it's a beautiful show. And John Weidman, who is the son of the original book writer Jerome Weidman, has done incredible revisions on this script and has made it super accessible to today's audience. So it's been a very special journey working with him.
It's very rare. I mean, I've done it once very recently, but it's very rare in general that you get to do this kind of, thrust space with a production on Broadway. So that's really special because it gives you an obstacle, and it helps you focus in a different way. And it also kind of takes away from the insecurity of being on stage, which can be a scary thing. It's like there's no escaping it. So you just kind of have to get used to it right away. But also I love being downtown. As opposed to Midtown, it just feels more relaxed in a lot of ways. And it's like, yeah, the budget is lower and the floors are creaky and the building is what the building is. It's not it's not like a man-made theater space. And I think all of that just adds to the character of the show. And I think this show is really working with the space in a great way. And I love doing off-Broadway because it just feels more relaxed, more playful, more like a return to the reason we all started doing this in the first place when we were kids.
This is my very first show, besides black box high school theater. This is my very first time doing a show in an intimate space like this. And it, especially for the story that we're telling, it is so, I think, crucial to the tone of the show and what we're trying to convey. And I think that the intimate space really brings such a unique element to the storytelling, and to be so up close and personal with the audience is super cool. And Harry Bogan is a narrator throughout the story, throughout this version of the story, and the fact that he gets to narrate the show and be so close to everybody really makes them feel like they're immersed in it and part of it. So it's been such a cool aspect of this production that I've loved a lot.
The best thing I ever bought on sale, not fish.
Oh, wait, that's a really good question. The best thing I've ever bought on sale. Oh my goodness. I have to think about this for a second.
I have this fantastic wool coat that I bought at Housing Works that is, I don't even know what the label is, but every time I wear it, I get complimented on it. And I know that the money I spent went to a good cause.
These veneers.
Oh, I'll tell you what. So in the pandemic, I discovered Facebook Marketplace, which is embarrassing. But if you type in free every once in a while, you'll find things for free in your neighborhood. And you have to go get them right away because otherwise someone will. And I got a mirror that way. So I would consider that a sale.
She's no stranger to a sample sale, I'll tell you that. I'm trying these days to move away from even buying anything retail. I'm trying to buy only things secondhand, but she used to frequent a sample sale, honey. She's gotten a lot of Ulla Johnson. So good. Lasts forever. So cute. Comfy, chic.
This top I'm wearing right now is from Goodwill. I love a thrifted piece. So, I mean, I guess I would say it was on sale because I don't know how much it originally was, but it was literally $2. So maybe that. Oh my God. Okay. I've thought about this before. My grandmother, Terry, who's no longer with us, but is such a huge part of my life, called me Star Baby growing up. And so I also love clothes, and I was like, oh my God, maybe one day I'll own a company or something. But I think it would be called Star Baby would be the brand name. Yeah, I think maybe that.
If I had a store, I'd sell hot dogs. It'd be Tino's Hot Dogs. How about that? I don't think anyone would come, and I think I'd be bad at it. But otherwise, it'd be great.
I've always kind of wanted to wanted to open a coffee shop come wine bar, I mean, it seems like a terrible amount of work, but in theory, I love the idea of a place where people can chill all day and then chill all night, with a bev. But I guess I would call it Jonesin.
Let's see. I would sell probably things that have been pre-owned And I would call it Kuhn's Corner. That's such a good idea. Yes, why not?
Also a veneer store. I would open up a veneer shop, and I would call it You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.